first habit of highly effective people, which is being proactive. So let's just stay tuned. I welcome my brother Fred and all other speakers that are here. As I say, we're going to learn. So let's give this time as I welcome my brother Branley. Welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you, guys. Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to see all of us. I might not be knowing everyone here. I know Elijah, I know Mary, I know Brother Leonard, Francis Kasinza. So we are all welcome. It's a great privilege to be here. I will straight go to share my screen, and I'm kindly asking us to remain muted until it comes times for questions and reflection, so that to avoid the inconveniences. So as I was introduced, I am Branley. I want to welcome us to this Leadership Masterclass series. And sorry for the inconvenience you guys faced last time. I think Brother Joram's network was not very stable. That's why he was not able to facilitate properly. I hope all of you can see my screen. Is it visible to you? Elijah, can you see my screen?
Is it visible to you? Elijah, can you see my screen?
Not yet, brother. It's not visible.
And do you now see it?
No, brother.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's about to switch. Like it has given the notification. Yeah. All right. It's now visible.
Okay. Elijah, are you with another person in the same room who is using Zoom as well?
No.
Okay.
Maybe those people have not muted their.
Yeah, I've made you a call, so please help me to mute all who are who have not switched off their microphones.
All right.
Yeah, so thank you again, guys. As I said, I'm not going to have a very long sharing. I'll just briefly share with us. And as Elijah said, we are friends, and this is a picture we took sometimes back before he traveled to India. And Elijah, please help me to mute that one who is talking. He's inconveniencing the call.
All right. All right.
Yeah, so this is a little about me. I think you can read it, and you can get to know more.
I'm your friend.
Elijah, some people I don't know how do we handle this.
I'm still checking on.
Guys, can we stay connected to the class if you have chosen to be here, please? We have very limited time.
Mr. Branley. Brother Branley.
Yeah.
If you can help me to mute it.
Yeah, I will let them muted. But I think we can just try to be disciplined. Yeah. And I'll also see how to help you to deal with them if they keep talking. So this is a little about me. I saw someone asking or talking from background, friend of Jesus. Yeah, this is the main thing to me. I think my big identity comes from that I'm a child of God and I am a disciple of Jesus. And all these other stuffs like the profession, the passion I have, they are more temporarily. But my identity as a child of God and a disciple of Jesus remains to be very firm. And how I pray that it won't offend you. This is my personal introduction in my personal life. So straight, I want to take us to the sharing. about the 7 habits. Can you still see my screen?
No, brother.
Brother Kisinza, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see.
Yeah, I think area you have a problem with your device.
Let me check it.
Myself.
Kaka France unaona eh?
Yeah, mi naona vizuri.
Sawa, asante. Yeah, so these 7 habits that we have kept learning, they were discovered by a man called Stephen Covey. He was born 1932 and he died on 2012. So they are called the 7 habits of highly effective people, which is be proactive, begin with an end in mind, put first thing first, think win-win, seek first to understand, then to be understood, synergize, and sharpen the soul. There is a saying which says, excuse me a minute, there is an old saying which a thought leaves an action reap a habit, a habit reap a character, so a character leap a destiny. So a thought leap an action, so an action leap a habit, so a habit leap a character, and so a character leap a destiny. Destiny means what to become in life. So from this old saying, it simply tells us that our life destiny is highly determined by the character we do have. So it's very important to be organized. It's very important to behave, because your life is very determined. Your life prosperity is determined by the character you have. And there is a law of habit which says full 95% of everything you do is a result of your habits, either helpful or hurtful. Kwa katika maisha yako, in your life, 95% of the things you do, they're the result of habit, either hurtful or helpful. You can develop habits of success by practicing and repeating success behavior over and over until they become automatic. So with my little experience, I've always found that doing what is right, doing good deeds, it doesn't just come automatically. You just create a discipline. It becomes your habit. You begin practicing it. And time after time, it becomes part of you. You get to be used with it. It becomes part of your life. So this is the brief introduction. And these are some of the habits you can now practice in your life, where we say habit number 1 is be proactive. And I'll take us through a very brief introduction of this, then I'll straightly go to habit number 1 per se. Be proactive, which we say it's a habit of responsibility and initiative. Habit number 2, begin with an end in mind, which is a habit of vision, values. Habit number 3 is put first thing first, which is integrity, execution. Habit number 4 is think win-win, which is mutual respect or love. Habit number 5 is seek first to understand, then to be understood, which is true communication. And habit number 6 is synergize, which is creative cooperation. So I want you to listen to me very carefully in this first point I'm going to make. These habits were discovered by Stephen Covey, the late, and they are in 2 categories: the habits which give us private victory, and the habits which give us public victory. Now, habit 1, 2, and 3, they are geared toward developing a level of private victory. You'll understand me, I'll show a diagram, or what is called self-mastery. They help someone move from state of dependence to independence. So if you understand habit number 1, habit number 2, and habit number 3, you will get private victory, or what we call self-mastery, and it will help you to move from dependence to independence. You will be able to lead yourself. Now, as you see, can you guys see this diagram?
Yes, brother.
Yeah. So habit number 1, be proactive. Number 2, begin with any mind. And number 3, put first thing first. They are in this first level, which helps you to move from dependence to independence. This first level, which helps you to have private victory. There is a saying in leadership that you cannot lead other people if you have never been able to lead yourself. So for you to be able to lead other people, you must be able to lead yourself. if you cannot organize your life, it's very difficult for you to organize other people. So the 3 first habits will help you to live an organized life, will help you to live a life which is in a proper order, and will enable you to it will enable you to be able to help others to also achieve their goals. So habit number 1, 2, and 3.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. Can you please go slowly? You are too fast.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Thank you for letting me know.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. So I was saying, habit number 1, 2, and 3. They help a person to be able to achieve what is called private victory. Number 1, 2, and 3. And I said, in life, you cannot lead other people if you have not been able to lead yourself. If you can't lead yourself, you can't lead others. So these 7 habits, basically the first 3 habits, they help you to become a leader of your own. So when you become a leader of your own, we say you move from what is called dependence to independence. Then later on, we will go to the second level of habits, which is called seek first to understand, think win-win, and synergize. Now, we say after you have achieved the private victory, you will be in a position, you will be able to achieve the public victory. So, in other words, the first 3 habits, they help you to have what is called self-mastery. Then the second 3 habits, they help you to achieve the public victory. After you have had the self-mastery, then you come to achieve the public victory. And sharpen the saw is more of a summary and speaking of the balancing stuffs. So these habits are categorized majorly into 2, the private victory and the public victory. Fred, I hope my pace is now okay. I'm sorry, I was going fast. Is this pace that I'm going with okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you. So we say, as I said, that the first 3 habits, they help you to get private victory and what is called self-mastery. And the second 3 habits, they help you to get public victory. Now, listen to me careful, guys. So after you move from be proactive, begin with the end in mind, and put first thing first, we say there you'll be in a position to master yourself, master your decisions, to organize your life and stuff like that. Now, you have moved from dependence to independence. Now, when you go to habit 4, 5, and 6, they are aimed at developing teamwork. They're aimed at developing, helping you to know how to relate with the people you are leading, helping you to know to get the public victory. You are a leader somewhere. You are a firstborn. Being a firstborn is being a leader. You are a husband. You are leading your wife. You are a father. You are leading your kids. You are managing a company. You have had self-mastery. Now we introduce you to the next 3 habits, which will help you to achieve the public victory. Now, these 3 second habits, the 3 habits which are in the second level, the 4th, 5th, and 6th habit, will move you from independence. I want you to get me well, from what I'm showing here, independence to interdependence. So in the first 3 habits, you move from the level of being dependence, you go to the level of being independence. In the second 3 habits, you move from the level of being independent, you go to being interdependent. You move from independence to interdependence. In short terms, in interdependence, we can say it's that level when people can consult you for a help. People can consult you for mentorship. You become a reference. People would want to learn from you. So if you really master these habits, internalize them, if you make them part of your life, people will really admire your way of life and would want to keep learning from you. I hope we are together, guys. Are we together?
Yes.
Thank you.
We are together.
Thank you. So straight, I want to take us to first habit, which is beginning with be proactive. And we say that this habit has 2 main aspects. 1, understand that you and your decision are now the greatest creative force in your life and in determining your destiny. Stop blaming past situations and circumstances. Whenever you are provoked to react by some outside stimulus, don't react. blindly in knee-jerk fashion. Instead, take a moment and then choose a response that is in line with your values. So brothers and sisters, with the first habit, our intention, our desire is to see that people do not become blaming and complaining about their society and stuff like that. Like we say, you should understand that you and your decisions are the greatest creative force in your life. So what am I trying to say here is that, for example, sometimes in life, we get to be exposed in situations that some probably our parents were not helpful, or circumstances were not helpful, and we mess up, or we lose some opportunity, or some terrible things happen, and we end up blaming circumstances. We say, if not my mom, if not my father, if not my grandmother, I was not this way. So through the first habit, we want you to understand that you are the one who decides how your life should be. Stop blaming the past situation and circumstances, and now focus on your future. Focus on what is available for now. Focus on what you can do for now. So we say a proactive person really understands that he or she is fully responsible with their futures. Like, I am who I am because of what I decide, because of what I want to become. Probably my parents never did not take me to school, but that should not be an enough excuse for me to for me not to be at my best, for me not to perform better. And with this first habit, we say proactive people, they do not blame circumstances or other people. You see these guys, if you can see my picture here, they're blaming one another. This one is pointing his finger to this, and this is pointing his finger to this. We have political issues in Africa, and we, from the morning we wake up to the night we go to sleep, we blame our president and the leaders in power. But with proactivity, we don't encourage you to just be blaming. Rather, we encourage you to know what can you do in your capacity? What can you do to change situations? What can you do to rescue situations? And that's all about proactivity. Once upon a time, this guy called Viktor Franklin said, everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the loss of human freedom to choose one attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. So you have been given an opportunity or a platform or whatever you can call it to be in a position to make a decision of your life. So you don't have to blame circumstances. I hope you're together, guys, up to that point before I move on. Are we?
Yes, brother, we are.
Thank you. So this is how reactive people respond. You see, like, this person is annoyed and she speaks maybe very offensive word. She's harsh. She's blaming circumstances, and this other person is pointing the hand to stop all the noise. Now, I want to share with us some psychological theories that determines what a man becomes in life. Some psychological theories. One, we said, there are three main factors or theories that psychologists have realized that play a big part in an individual's makeup. First thing is, these have these have been developed in the following theories. The first theory, which psychologists think they determine who a man is. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, so the first theory is who we are is determined by genetics. This theory says our grandparents are to be blamed or are to blame. You have a bad temper because you are a courier, and all couriers have bad tempers. Therefore, you'll have a bad temper. So the first theory says that we are who we are because of the genetics. Like, you live the way you live because of the genetics. So it teaches us to blame the circumstances, blame the genetics, blame the past. This is the first theory. Then the second psychological theory of who we are, it says who we are is determined by our parental upbringing. The way your parents brought you up gave you personality that you have. That's what some psychologists believe, that I am who I am because of how I was raised. this is me and this is how my parents raised me and I will live on how they raised me. That's the second theory. And the third theory says who we are is determined by our environment. My environment, the place, circumstances, and condition of where I was born are to blame. I was born in a village and I lacked opportunity other people had. I was the middle kid in my family and everyone forgot about me. So this theory also says that we are who we are because of the environment. Now, there might be some element of truth in these three theories, but we really don't encourage a person to really buy into this, because if you keep buying into this, you might lose some opportunity. You might lose some important things in your life. So what does the proactive theory believe about the three factors? Now, look at this. The habit we're talking about today is being proactive. Now, this is what the proactive theory believe about the three factors mentioned before. The proactive theory would say, okay, it is true that this factor have tremendous power of conditioning our lives, but we can't change these things. But we can't change these things, and they are not the greatest determining factors of our life. However, there is a fourth theory for what determines who we are, and fortunately, we can control it. Now, this is the thing. Proactive theory. Who we are is determined by the choices we make each day. So the other factors were well mentioned, and they were well said about what happens, the upbringing, the environment, and things of such kind. But the proactive theory is saying who we are is determined by the choices we make each day. Although it is true that the three factors are powerful, but they become problem to us when we begin to believe that we are determined and limited by them. So brothers and sisters, through this proactive theory, we want to encourage you that we should not let these other theories to guide you. You should not let these other theories to conclude. You should not let these other theories to decide what is your future is going to be. So again, with the proactive theory, there are key things that I want to encourage us to be doing. I know my tendencies, I know my background. I was given the program that are in me, but I'm not a computer that only learns in program that is given. Unajua, something like computer, it just runs with the programs you have put into it. You put Adobe Photoshop, it will run Adobe Photoshop. You put Premiere, it will run Premiere. A computer cannot run something different from what has been installed in it. So the proactive person should now decide to go beyond. Excuse me, guys. I feel I'm in a noise place. Let me relocate. Has to give me a minute to see a possibility of fixing this. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you may proceed.
Okay, thank you. Let's go on. Yeah, so I was saying, I know my tendencies, I know background I was given, the program that are in me, but I'm not a computer that only runs on the program that is given. I can choose a better way. The only me deep inside is not those programs. I can rely those programs. I can change because I have a uniquely human endowment, the power to choose. So with the being proactive, we say you can go beyond what you have, what you've been created. You can stop blaming circumstances. You can stop bringing the parental bringing. You can stop blaming the genetics and things of such kind. Now, proactive theory says freedom of choice is the greatest determining factor in our lives. You and your choices are the greatest creative force in your life. When we blame others, blame events, and blame circumstances we are in, we give them power to control us. So like if you're in a circumstance that is bad and you keep blaming that circumstance, you give it power to control you. So you're really not, you're really not encouraged to keep blaming circumstances. Rather, you are to see what is really happening and see as a leader, how can you tackle what is happening? No matter what your genetic makeup is, no matter how you were raised, no matter what your childhood experience were, no matter what background you came out, you can still take control of your life. You have a uniquely human ability, the power to choose your response to life circumstances. You and your decision are the greatest creative force in your life. Now, look at this diagram, guys. The gap between stimulus and response. This is something that God has given all of us. We said a proactive person is a person who accepts to be responsible with their own life. In other words, I will add for you a definition which says a proactive person is a person who pauses for a moment and chooses a response which is in line to their values. A proactive person pauses for a moment and chooses a response which is in line to their life. So, for example, Brother Flans, if someone slaps you, if someone abuses you, how are you going to respond? I'm just asking any one of us. I don't necessarily say you have to answer, but a reactive person will never have a time to pause and think. A reactive person, you slap me, I slap you back. A reactive person, whatever happens in the environment, they blame about the environment. But a proactive person, there is stimulus and response. And I think for those who did biology, I think stimulus, I'm not good in science, I mean in science stuff, but stimulus, these are triggering outside environment. Like something has triggered you and you have to respond. Now, there is freedom to choose. So God has given us a gap between stimulus and response. So even if circumstances have really triggered you to misbehave, but there is also a gap which gives you freedom to choose a better response. And not only that, this is something very key that I want you to listen to it, and it's going to be my final part of the presentation. It's going to be my final part of the presentation. We say, God has given every human being 4 unique endowments, which are self-awareness, conscience, imagination, and willpower. This conscience is the inner guidance system which tells us when we are violating what we hold to be right, based on values, belief, truth, principles. Conscience connects us to the wisdom of the heart and the wisdom of those who raised us. In other words, when I say my conscience for those who speak Swahili, I know that some people know Swahili here, we call it the mirror. Like there is an inner guidance system which every human being has, which tells you that here you're violating and here you're doing what is right. This, what you're doing is wrong and this is right. It's an inner guidance system. It is just there. God has given every one of us. And it connects us to our values, belief, truth, and principles. Now you might wonder why this guy is sharing about the 4 unique endowment. These are very important. These are the ones which are going to guide you on how you behave. Like if you have this conscience, like there is a moment you're triggered with life, there is a moment there are challenges and you want to react, but you have an inner guidance system. You have the wisdom of the heart. You have the wisdom of those who raised you. You have your beliefs, you have your principles, and they will tell you, no, please calm down. What you are about to do is not the right thing. It's an inner guidance system that God has given us. And it's endowment. In other words, endowment is a gift, ni zawadi. Kuna zawadi nne Mungu ametupa: self-awareness, conscious, imagination, and willpower. So this is an inner guidance system which helps us not even to blame to circumstances. Like we have understanding that this, what we're doing is not right. We have an inner guidance system. Then 2 is self-awareness. Self-awareness is our capacity to stand apart from ourselves and examine our thoughts, motives, habits, actions, and our history. Have you ever asked yourself, why am I thinking this way? God has given every individual self-awareness, which sometimes animals do not have. That's why you can find dogs cohabiting on the road and they don't bother because they don't have that self-awareness that this is a road and everyone is watching at us. We have that capacity to stand apart from ourselves and examine our thoughts, our motives, our habits, our action, and our history. So I want to encourage that even self-awareness is there to help you to be in a position to always make decisions which are better, decisions which are proper, decisions which are very constructive, to be proactive. Self-awareness, utashi, understanding, knowledge is there to help you to make proactive decision for your life. Then the next thing God has given us is the power to envision a future state. For example, you can imagine the day of your funeral. Guys, this is very serious. What would you like people to be saying about you? Listen, guys, I want, if you can there, let me enlarge my screen here. Okay, it doesn't matter your camera is on or is not, but I want everyone to close their eyes right now. You can just close your eyes. I'm going to take you through an exercise. And after closing your eyes, I want you to imagine the day you are dead. Brother Francis, your eyes are open. I want everyone to close their eyes, and I want you to imagine the day you have died, and you are, I mean, on your funeral day, the day that people are saying goodbye, as we have seen throughout the news, people of US, they were saying goodbye to George Floyd after he has been killed, assassinated. I don't know what language can I use. Now, what would you love people to say? If you had an opportunity to hear people speaking about you on your funeral day, what would you love to hear them commenting about you? Elijah, close your eyes and think about that. What would you love to see people, like you're in that, I don't know how do you call it, cascade, whatsoever, and people are talking about you. You're already dead, and like it's a funeral day, and people are talking about you, and you have a capacity to hear them. What would you love to hear them saying? Would you feel good to hear them saying, "I like that dude, was so good, was so wow, he was so loving, was so kind"? Or would you love them to hear? I mean, would you love to hear them saying, "That guy was very stupid, fun, awkward, he's nothing"? You can now open your eyes. So I'm simply trying to say God has given us what we call creative imagination, the power to envision our future and decide if that's the way we want to go. Just a few minutes before we began the lesson, some brother who is now my real brother was telling me, he's just a friend that I really cannot take the glory. I just found interest in him and he became a good friend. I just introduced him to the family and he has become part of the family, and we stayed together with him, and it was like saying, and of course, I don't even remember whatever I used to comment about him, but he was reminding me the good moment we had together. He was reminding me how probably I treated him well. So be proactive. Think, stop blaming circumstance. Stop just reacting to circumstance, but from today, decide to be proactive. Decide to live a life which is orderly. Decide to focus. Decide to behave. Decide to be a person who really you would love people to speak well when you are gone. We have people who have died, the likes of Mwalimu Julius Nyerere, the likes of Mama Teresa, but they have left a legacy. We still speak about them. We still feel that they were important. These people were proactive. These people, they lived their lives to the fullest. It's your time to envision your future. The little you're doing today adds a great value. Stop facing life reactively. Decide today to become proactive. And the last gift that God has given us is independent will. My friends, it's something very powerful. Our capacity and freedom to choose our actions. Ultimately, we are the product of our choices, not just the big ones, even the tiny one, beginning with when we wake up in the morning. You can use your free will to make choices and create change. Now, listen to me, my brother. You see this guy here. There are too much crossroads, too much arrows, but God has given us the capacity to choose what we want to do. Listen, even biblically, for Christians who are here, the Bible says there is a narrow road and there is a wide road. Kindly, because God is a kind God, he says, but please go through the narrow road, not the wide road. But he still gives us the capacity to choose either to go through the narrow road or the wide road. Professionally, I am a counselor. I did education in guidance and counseling. In counseling, we don't advise people. We coach them, we mentor them to be able to decide. So for example, Charles Jaden, you come with a case to me as a counselor and ask me to help you. I will tell you this. You give me a case like my girlfriend has like checked me, we are not in good relationship. Can I change? Can I switch to a new girlfriend or what? I will tell you the advantage of staying, of forcing that girl who checked you to accept you, or the advantage of going for a new girl, and the disadvantage, and I will let you decide. So human beings, we have been given independent will to choose to go right or left, to be in a position to make a decision. So I want to encourage us to make proper decisions. And finally, In this habit, there is this key thing. We say in life, there are two circles. One circle is called the circle of influence, and another circle is called the circle of concern. Now, circle of concern, there are those things, listen to me carefully. You might not even focus on the PowerPoint. Circle of concern, there are those things which they are your concern. The politics of the country, the way the president behave, it's your concern, but you cannot control directly. That's a circle of concern. It's a circle of concern. But circle of influence, these are the things which they are within your influence. We say in life, things fall into three categories. Things we can direct control. For example, the amount of time we read. I know I'm talking to a big number of students right here. Amount of time we read, we can control that. I will read it for 5 hours or 6 hours. The amount of time we read is in our circle of influence, is within our control. We can control it. Things what we can direct control, things that we can indirectly control, and things that we cannot control at all. Brothers and sisters, there are things we cannot control. I've been making fun with people. I say, I know you can just see my face, not my whole body. I am short and fat. I can control me being fat. I can have diet and become slim, but I cannot control me being short. Being short is something which is very out of my capacity. So if I begin blaming my parents, what did they do? Why am I short? I will waste time. But with my big body, I can make diets, reduce some fats, and become slim. So we want to encourage you to focus your energy in things that you can direct control or indirect control. Things that you can direct control or indirect control. Now, from today, be proactive and decide to understand what are those things which you can direct control, what are those things which you can indirect control. Put your energy into those things, and things which you cannot control at all, forget about them. Leave them as how they are. Finally, I don't want to go very deep. I want to give you this example. Now see, Mother Teresa once said, proactive people focus the energies. Of course, this is not a quotation, but as I was saying, proactive people focus the energies on their circle of influence. Mother Teresa, I tried to watch her movie a little. She focused the energy on what she thought she would do for the society. In your capacity, be proactive. You are responsible of your life and even the situation of your country. As a patriot country of India, patriot country of Tanzania, patriot country of wherever you are, can you choose to become proactive and focus on what you can now do for your country? Now, there is being proactive versus being reactive. Proactive people take responsibility for their life. Reactive, they don't take responsibility for their life. Proactive people determine their agendas. Reactive, they blame the situation. Proactive people choose their response to what happens. Reactive, they don't choose their response to what happens. Proactive people choices are guided by values. This is fun. If you're a proactive person, your choices are guided by values. But if you're a reactive person, your choices are guided by feelings. Proactive people believe their life is determined by choices. Reactive believe that their life is determined by genetics and upbringing. So brothers and sisters, I want to encourage all of us to choose today. I shared about the the full endowment. As we see, self-awareness is here, imagination is here, conscience and independent will. These are the 4 gifts God has given us to help us to behave well, to behave proactively. Being proactive, including that I can forgive, forget, and let it go. I choose my attitude, emotions, and moods. Reactive people, they can't even choose for themselves the emotions and reactions and attitudes. The circumstances choose for them. When you're pissed off, you're totally pissed off and life cannot move. But a proactive person chooses better attitude, emotions, and move and motives. So thank you so much for listening to me. You can clap hands for yourself. Thank you. I'm done with my presentation. Over to you, Mr. Elia. God bless you.
All right. Thank you, Brother Brownlee,
You're
for the
welcome.
nice. Yeah, thank you for the nice sharing. We are really blessed for this habit that I have facilitated about being proactive. Yeah, I hope that we have all understood what we have been taught. In 2 to 3 minutes before we wind up our session, I would like to welcome if anyone has got a compliment or has got a question. So, Brother Blan, you can be with us for some few minutes, like 5 minutes, as yeah, like I'll allow time for discussion. If you have compliment or question to ask the speaker, you are now welcome. The floor is ours. You can just unmute and you can be free to speak. Brother Leo, something. It's an opportunity to welcome my brother Leonard. If you have any compliment or if you have any question, share.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Eria, for the good chance. Indeed, the lesson was nice and of for what I can say, concur with it. What I would like to advise my fellow readers is to choose what to react and not react directly. You must have a time to think upon the situation. If the situation is too harder, you can ask even for advice from other workers or races. Thank you.
Thank you too, brother. I also see brother ICE3. He commented saying, "Oh, thank you. What you're doing today, it's like you're talking about me, jamani. Asante, nitabadilika from nowadays." Yeah, thank you for the comment. I see this message from the comment section. All right, I'll welcome one more person. Thank you also, brother Leonard, for the nice compliment. Let me welcome one more person before we finish up. Brother Ayom or brother Albert, anyone. Sister Mary,